Nice snatch.
What'd you say?
It's a kettlebell exercise! Timing is important. And on the kettlebell snatch, it can be the difference between a great workout or goose egg sized lumps on the back of your forearms, which was the unfortunate outcome of my first session doing kettlebell snatches and something that I'd like to help you avoid. Which is why today I'll be sharing 3 simple tips for mastering this tricky kettlebell technique so you can maximize the benefits of this amazing exercise without the bruises. And if you stick around to the end of this video, I'll share my favorite drill for putting these 3 tips together for the perfect kettlebell snatch. With that said, let's dive in. Now the kettlebell snatch has no shortage of benefits. Grip strength, check. Core stability, big time. How about power? Absolutely. And it's great for conditioning. However, we need to get one thing straight about the kettlebell snatch. The kettlebell snatch is not performed like a kettlebell swing. Don't worry, I'll explain. When we perform a kettlebell swing, our elbow remains straight as our upper arm peels away from our body, which creates a huge arc. However, if you do this with a kettlebell snatch, the bell will bite you right in the back of the forearm. So instead, we want to do something that we refer to as taming the arc, meaning we actually want to keep the kettlebell closer to our body on the swing up. But rather than doing what I did when I first started, which was trying the full kettlebell snatch over and over and over while bludgeoning myself with the kettlebell, we are going to master taming the arc with a quick 3-position snatch drill. To start, we'll perform a T-Rex style swing for position 1, followed by position 2, which is where the upper arm begins to peel away from the upper body with the elbow bent. And lastly, we will hit position 3, which is a continuation of position 2, just with our hands slightly above our head. And most importantly, you want your thumb facing up in position 3. And once you get this dialed in, you can turn position 3 into a full kettlebell snatch like this. And just like that, boom, you've tamed the arc. But unfortunately, you can still beat up your forearms if you don't have this next piece of the kettlebell snatch dialed in. You see, when I was first learning the kettlebell snatch, I eventually learned the importance of taming the arc, and perhaps you have too. However, the kettlebell was still rotating over the top of my hand and flaccidly flopping into the back of my forearm. Kind of like a high diver who over-rotated. Ooh. And it wasn't until I started watching kettlebell sport athletes that I realized the kettlebell is actually supposed to rotate around your forearm rather than over the top to minimize impact, which is why tip number 2 is to bump the corner. Now, when I say bump the corner, I'm referring to bumping the corner of the kettlebell handle on your index finger side with your perlicue, which is this fleshy part of your hand here, right as you enter into position 3, because this bump is what pivots the bell around your forearm, if you remember to have your thumb facing up going into position 3 from the previous drill. If you forget this part and leave your palm facing down, you will bruise the shit out of your forearms when bumping the corner. But as long as you tame the arc and bump the corner with your thumb facing up, you will have the smoothest snatch you've ever experienced. Wait. But even if you've mastered taming the arc and bumping the corner like I did when I was first learning this tricky technique, there is still one more detail that can trip you up on this exercise. You see, everything we focused on so far has to do with the upward phase of the kettlebell snatch. But as you start stringing multiple reps together, the down phase of this exercise can either positively or negatively impact your next rep. And like most things in my own journey to the perfect kettlebell snatch, I learned this the hard way. My elbow started getting really sore from this jerking motion as the kettlebell flopped from the top of my snatch, and then I was forced to use excessive upper body strength to pull the bell up, which led to the crash in the back of my forearm all over again. Until one day I accidentally did something that I now refer to as the peel and slide, which leads us to tip number 3. When at the top of your kettlebell snatch, by simply rotating your palm towards you and peeling the body of the bell away from you, you set yourself up for the perfect bell path between your legs, instead of a last-minute rotation to avoid your knee, which leads to a painful yanking on the elbow. And by simply sliding the kettlebell handle from the heel of your palm to the root of your fingers as the bell descends, the handle won't get caught in the center of your palm, meaning the bell will glide down just as smoothly as it glides up. With that said, at the beginning of this video, I promised to show you a simple drill to put all 3 of these tips together. For the upward phase and mastery of taming the arc and bumping the corner, I'm a huge fan of the kettlebell half snatch, which is a movement where we snatch the kettlebell up, but instead of going straight into another snatch rep, we lower the kettlebell back to the front rack position so we can just focus on the upward phase of the movement by itself. And so we can master the downward phase of the snatch. The reverse half snatch is an outstanding drill because we press the bell up, focus on the peel and slide on the way down, and re-rack the kettlebell so we can just emphasize the downward phase of the snatch. And once you've mastered the upward and downward phase separately, you can seamlessly merge them together for the perfect kettlebell snatch. With that said, none of this information is useful, sadly, if you don't dial in the fundamentals of your kettlebell swing first, though. So if you want to make sure that you have your kettlebell swing technique 100% on point so you can master more complex exercises like the kettlebell snatch we covered in today's video, check out this video right here, and I'll see you on the next one.